As speculation over the revival of the 2015 nuclear deal continues to mount, Israel has now said that the head of its Mossad spy agency will visit the United States for talks on the latest developments in the high-stakes accord. Now, according to reports, Israel's Mossad chief David Barnea will visit Washington in early September and will participate in what is being described as closed-door meetings with the U.S. Congress. Now, the announced visit is the latest in the Jewish state's push to sway the Western powers from signing a new deal with Tehran. And Israel has said that a new deal will facilitate for the funding of Iran-supported extremists in the region and will not be able to prevent Tehran from developing a nuclear weapon. Now, Iran, that has time and again denied all of these allegations by the state of Israel, has said that its nuclear program is meant only for peaceful purposes of electricity generation and nothing more. Meanwhile, a senior Iranian lawmaker has said that Iran and the world powers are pretty close to a deal, but it may require a new round of meetings before something is eventually finalized. The development comes as the United States has now given its response to Tehran's views on the European Union's final text proposal. As Iran and the six world powers inch closer to the new deal, reports have also surfaced that provide more details on the final proposal. According to reports, the EU draft that was proposed earlier in the month included 4 crucial steps in halting of Iran's nuclear activities, with the fourth and the final step taking effect in nearly 165 days after the deal is signed and before any agreement is eventually finalized. The sides will reportedly sign a deal that will see the Western prisoners be freed by Iran in exchange for Iranian assets being unfrozen by the Western nations. Now, the first step that will take effect from the day of the signing of the deal will see Iran freeze its uranium enrichment. Tehran, however, will be allowed to hold on to the enriched uranium that it has stockpiled before the date. The second step will take about 30 days and will see the Biden administration bring the deal to the Congress for its approval. The third step, which will be 60 days after the congressional approval, will see Washington notify the United Nations Security Council and the International Atomic Energy Agency about its decision to rejoin the pact. And the final step, which will come after 60 days, will see the United States formally returning to compliance of this deal. Now, Iran signed the nuclear deal, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, along with other world powers, including the likes of China, Russia, Britain, France and Germany, in 2015. However, there was a change of president in the United States. Donald Trump took over and he unilaterally pulled Washington out of this agreement by describing the JCPOA as the worst negotiated deal in American history. And with that, he also imposed crippling sanctions on Tehran as a part of his policy of maximum pressure. The talks for the revival of the 2015 Iranian nuclear deal began again once there was a change of presidency in the United States. However, these talks have been frequently suspended due to a rise in political differences between Washington and Tehran. But now we are inching closer to the possibility of a deal finally being signed. And now to give us more insights in terms of what exactly can be expected and why Israel is opposed to this deal, we are being joined by Dr. Paul Dorfman from Paris. He's an associate fellow in the Science Policy Research Unit at the University of Sussex. Now, Dr. Dorfman, this is a crucial moment for the Iranian nuclear deal. It appears that at this point of time that Iran and the sixth world power led by the United States are almost on the verge of signing this deal. But Israel does not seem to be very happy with it. Why is that?
I suppose Israel is concerned about the potential military nuclear capacity of Iran, or if Iran is enriching, in other words, going forward with potentially creating a nuclear military capacity. Now, that said, the original deal was okayed. This new deal, or an extension of the old deal, is being diplomatically put forward by the US, also by the EU and Qatar, who are helping with this, and presumably Oman as well too. And Iran are inching towards what could be a significant move forward in which to de-escalate the potential for severe difficulties in the region.
Now, considering the fact that, once this new deal is in fact signed, I mean, one would expect that all Iranian nuclear facilities will be constantly under the examination of the IAEA. Do you think, without being the case, the fears that Iran may still go on and enrich uranium further to limits that would give it, access to a nuclear weapon, do you think that is justified?
It's always justified to understand that civil nuclear and hence potential for enrichment, in other words, for the potential for moving towards a bomb, is always the case. On the other hand, what we've learned in Zaporizhzhia in Ukraine is that civil nuclear itself can be weaponized. So in that sense, the nuclear infrastructure in Iran are not defendable, not stable against even conventional military missiles. So in that sense, it's just an extension of the Cold War. Any nuclear plant in the world, it cannot be defended from a conventional missile attack. And in that sense, you've got a bomb on your own home soil in any case.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Paul Dorfman, for joining us and getting us all those insights there.
Thank you.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.